All right. Welcome, everybody, to Next Level Sports. I'm your host, Ant-Man Z, as always, with my main man and partner in crime, Andrew Crash Nash. We've got another preview for you guys today. We're going back to what we had last year in the Cotton Bowl. It's Ohio State versus Texas. Crash, that's the game of the century coming up, isn't it? Again, the rematch.
Yeah, man, it seems like it's been a century ago, right? But it wasn't just not too long ago, some months back that
another day here.
Excuse me. That this is actually like the rematch. Amen.
It is. It's like a heavyweight title rematch, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yep. So tell us your initial thoughts on the game, besides just the fact that this is a big rematch. When I look at this on paper, these are two completely different teams.
Yeah, well, that's an important thing. I want to just we always have to go back in time because a lot of times history repeats itself, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And there's things called trends. So I just want to throw something out there to you, okay?
Sure. Talk to me.
A challenge is sustaining success, and we're talking about college football, not just the NFL. Champions amidst NFL departures. So, like, to have a sustainable, and now with all this parity that we're having in college football, it's like that there's a level playing field. Now, I want to take you back at in history. A prime example of a team that was going to try to come back and replicate success. It was in 2019 LSU Tigers. After a dominant 15-0 undefeated season and a national championship, they saw a record-tying 14 players selected in the 2000 NFL draft. The following season, the Tigers on the field performance plummeted to 5-5 record.
Wow.
Okay. Now, just coming off of an undefeated, no-loss season. Now, let's go to the flip side of that. The more recent champions that have navigated the departure of an NFL caliber talented with more resilience, the 2020 Alabama Crimson Tide had 10 players selected in the draft. And then, despite this significant loss of the talent, they went on the next season and made a 13-2 record in the 2021 season, ultimately losing in the national championship game. However, who is the head coach?
I was going to say, that throws a little bit of a caveat in there, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the first thing that came to my mind was, and Crash always talks about what? Leadership.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And Ohio State lost their coaching staff, didn't they? Well, some of it.
No, exactly. They lost. So they lost their offensive coordinator, which, by the way, I'm going to say some things about. Let's go back to last year. I had to reflect and bring things back to my own remembrance because you and I talked about that game afterwards.
Yes, we did.
Texas was really the only team last year in the playoffs that gave Ohio State a fight. They were right there. And it was a few plays that we talked about coaching style, that they did some plays that put them in a position where we can say it cost them the game. In the defensive end for the Ohio State Buckeyes, remember, he came over on the inside and dipped down. We talked about that. I talked about that certain play. Now he's in the NFL. They lost him. They both their edge rushers. Okay.
Right.
But I want to also say this, and we're going to get into we're going to talk about Texas and Arch Manning. And I've said it before. I believe Arch Manning's a better quarterback. Had he been in that game, let's just go back. Had he been in that game, I believe their RPO, he would have kept it, maybe took off, ran with it, because he had more mobility. It's gonna bring another type of powerful. How do I say?
Another element that they didn't have.
Another
before.
element, yes, that they was missing. I was watching him last year, and I thought, man, he's better than Ewing. I believe a lot of his politics.
Well, that's why he's a front runner for the Heisman Trophy this year, which we'll get to that in a minute because we got some insight on that too. But back to your point about Alabama, okay, Ryan Day is not Nick Saban, but I don't think he's lost to anybody except Michigan. Am I right with that?
Yeah,
So
and
far, he's
also
beating
let's
everybody
say,
else.
and also on the flip side of that, hey, Sarkisian, he has to. A lot of people are high on him.
Mhm.
Great, he's a great coach, but he has not got over that hump yet, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ryan Day finally did.
Yeah. Yep. But to your earlier point, they
Right.
lost a lot. They lost an offensive coordinator. They lost a defensive coordinator. They lost their starting quarterback. They lost their number one wide receiver. They
Well,
lost a lot of players on
here,
defense.
let's go. Let's go down the line, may I?
Sure.
For the people,
Please do.
Let's go ahead and just talk about that. Let me put my John Henrys on.
There you go.
So the X's of players. Now listen to this. Listen. This is a lot, folks. Remarkable 14 Buckeyes were selected in the talented group, including wide receiver Abuku, offensive lineman Donovan Jackson, Josh Simmons. There's two defensive tackles to plug the middle: Tyke Williams, Ty Hamilton. Running backs: Quentin Judkins, he with the Browns. Trevay Henderson, the backup.
Yep.
It
Travion
was just as
Henderson. He was
explosive.
good. He's good.
Defensive end, yeah, no, here both your edge rushers are gone too. I can't even say the name. JT.
Well, and then don't forget they lost two players to my guys, my Steelers. You got Jack Sawyer, he's gone. You got Big Play Sawyer, he's gone.
Listen to this. Linebacker Cody Simon in the middle. Defensive tackle Lathan Ramson, Jordan Hancock, Denzel Burke, and quarterback Will Howard. You lost your quarterback, and they're just now They're just now saying that they're going to go with somebody late July. Here's July, and you're just naming your quarterback. It's not good, Ant.
Yeah.
That's a lot to replace.
I mean, this is going to be a testimony to their recruiting process, though. How good has it been over the last 5 years? Do they still have the depth that they think they have? There's a reason why Vegas has them favored in this game.
Well, home field advantage, and they're defending they're coming off the championship, and they're at home.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's not forget the front runner for the Heisman, one of the most explosive true freshmen we've ever seen outside of the other one that played for Alabama last year, and Jeremiah Smith. Remember, I said next year I'm going with him for the front runner of the Heisman, Jeremiah Smith. And many believe he's the best college football player right now this year.
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but you really high on the name Jeremiah to begin with, aren't you? Because there's a couple players in the league that you like, but I won't give too much away. Maybe that's enough of a hint right there.
Yeah, I've got some sleepers too, man. They'll have to come back for another segment. And let's keep in mind, I picked Travis Hunter to win the Heisman last year, and I nailed it. So you may want to stay tuned.
Yeah.
I got some sleepers.
Let's do this, right? If we're looking at this game on paper, we can see that this is just a completely different game than it was during last year's college football playoffs.
Absolutely.
So the question is, what is Ohio State's keys to victory besides having the home field advantage and applying the pressure of just being the national championships and having that to play for? What do they physically need to do?
Well, it's not just physical, Ant. Good question. Great question. As an ex-player myself, coach, and front office person that has over 30 years, and I'm not trying to beat my own horn, just to tell you I have the experience. And man's intellect can only go so far, but of course, I trust in the Lord's insight that I believe at times He gives us. Praise God. So,
well, you've got the experience, so yeah.
Mental. Listen. Okay. So Ryan Day or any coach out there that's listening, when you have lose that many players and coming back in, you don't ask them to be who Will Howard was. You don't ask them to be a Travis Hunter. We want you to be who you are. So the pieces that you still had and that you add or that you already have, you have to tell them we want you to be who you are, and you have to see what they do great, and then you have to put them in the position, therefore, to win.
Yeah.
So it's more than just physical. This comes back down again to leadership, play calling, which again, Ohio State not only has to replace all these players, but now they have a whole new set of coordinators coming in, offensive, defense. And let's keep in mind, Matt Patricia is not a bad defensive coordinator.
No. No.
So I don't
But
see a big drop there.
I was going to say, can Ryan Day, I believe that he put together a great game plan, not only to beat Notre Dame in the
Oh,
national championship, but I believe that when you talk about the mental readiness, that team looked as prepared as a team can be.
well, yes, I agree, but in a sense. But let me share with you also what Crash
Sure.
believes. They would not have won that championship or mollywopped Oregon if it wasn't for one guy, and that was Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
A brilliant
They
mind.
did escape out of that
That's
one with
why
the
he's in
skin of
the
their teeth.
NFL now. He's like, hey, come up here, baby.
Yeah.
Huh?
So let me ask you this then, but I'm not going to give it away yet, but
Yeah.
what are Texas's keys to the game? Don't give me your winner yet, one way or the other, but I just want to know what they have to do to prepare.
Sure. Well, Steve Sarkisian, he did some moves now. They brought in some key pieces, and I want to just throw some names out there to you, if I may.
Sure.
It's interesting because let's also backtrack. I want to say it was last year they had the #1 recruiting class in the nation. So he didn't go out in the portal and get new offensive linemen. So apparently he trusts we can trust his insight, right? As a head coach, can't we all say that he's
I
good
would say
enough?
he knows his team.
Come on. So he trusts his lineman enough to where he didn't go and get any more of those. So he stayed internal with what he already has. But what he did do is, and I want to throw out some key pieces here to give Mr. Manning some more firepower. And let's also say they're bringing back, other than replacing pieces on their offensive line, they're bringing their two running. Oh my God, the running back room is like 3 running backs from last year are back. Here's some names, and I want you guys to do your research. Ernest Mosley out of Stanford. This kid's electric. Hey, he makes the over-shoulder throws, one tap foot in. I mean, if you go back and see his highlights at Stanford, he's a key piece in green, and I believe he's going to be a great asset for them this year. And now, every great quarterback needs what? A valve, a safety valve. You always need a tight end. Look at the NFL. Look at the trends. Look at the Chiefs. Kelsey, right? Let's go all the way through history. Every great quarterback always has that safety valve, a halfback or a tight end. Yeah. And they brought in this kid, and I'm really big on him. He's a big kid, a tight end called, I hope I say it right, he's out of Cal. Look his highlights up. Jack Endries, big tight end, big kid, and can block and can catch. And then he, let's see here. They joined some incoming freshmen, Amiri Winston, Nick Townsend. So, anyways, what I'm saying is they brought some pieces in that I believe is going to make them more explosive.
Well, they do have a big roster for tight ends, too. If I'm looking at this correctly, they've got Jack Endries, like you said, who's going to be a star out there, a stud as far as catching the ball. He's 6'4", 240. That's decent size, especially for a college football player. But then there are other tight ends, which are more blocking tight ends, which is going to help so much with that running game and with that ability to disguise plays because you don't know what's coming. There are other 2 tight ends, are 6'6" and 6'7", respectively. So they got some big guys that are out there
and bro, their running back class is they're gonna have to like hold some back because they're just filled up with plenty of backs. So listen, as time goes on, we see injuries and attrition wear down teams.
Isn't that what it always comes down to, Crash? We're always saying that it's a battle of attrition when it really comes down to it, because you could have some of the best players out there in the world, and if they're not mentally prepared to go the distance and put in the work, they're going to get steamrolled.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, look at the Detroit Lions last year. They were relying on, listen, you know how hard that was? They were down to practice squad players to put in to be starters going against elite offenses. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess it's time for a little bit of a prediction. Tell me what you think is going to happen.
Well, I want to say, Vega, I can see this going this way. listen, I believe the reason that Vegas has given Ohio State 4.5, I want to say it is.
I think it might be up to 6 at this point, but let me
my
double check that.
goodness gracious. Yeah. It's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and they've got the over under set at 51.5 points.
Well, good for us out here to bet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vegas. They'll change it after today.
Yeah.
Trust me. Anyways, home field advantage, and it's true. Listen, Columbus, all these places, any big schools like this, when you go to their backyard, look at some of the teams last year. Georgia Tech upsets. Vandy, what they did at their own house. It does make a huge difference, okay? Yeah. And if you go in there and start fast and finish strong, smack somebody in their mouth quick, it's going to come down. It could be a shootout. I can see it going both ways. And apparently Vegas is seeing that as well. Okay,
so you're picking the over on 51.5.
Not so quick. Not so quick. How many?
51.5.
Well, you know what? I'm going to just say this. I'm going to say that I can see Ohio State struggling. I'm going to predict they're not going to repeat. I'm going to say that right here, right now. Okay. I'm going to predict that they're not going to repeat. They're going to take a regress instead of a progress. Okay. And I can see Ohio State and Manning's full season. I can see he will be a front runner in the Heisman. I'm going to also say he's going to lead all quarterbacks in the SEC in rushing.
Wow.
He's a dual threat.
Yeah.
So even if that line
unlike his brothers. Oh
yeah, and listen, his own uncle, the great Peyton Manning.
His uncles. Yes.
He even said himself, and I was thinking about today as I was cooking my breakfast, and I was reflecting on this. I don't believe he's a man he has to lie, and he's not going to build his nephew up to something. I don't believe that he'll do that. I don't really believe these families that do that. They don't do that. They're going to they're going to straight shoot you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he has to advocate. In fact, they're staying out of it. And he said, listen, he makes throws that I couldn't have made back then.
That's impressive. That's coming from one of the best quarterbacks of all time. So that's a statement.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody's talking about this pressure.
Yeah.
What pressure? These people apply pressure.
Right.
These families
I will say
don't.
This.
Yeah.
No, right. You're right. Peyton was never known to be a dual threat either. So the fact that Arch has that in his repertoire, in his bag of tools, already puts him at another level. Of course, he might not be as good at reading a defense right now, and he might not be as refined to having said, hey, I've been in the NFL 20 years. I've seen everything. But he's got the skill set, Crash.
Yeah, that's what Coach Sarkisian could be looking at as well. He could be looking at, listen, even if the pocket breaks down, I'm not asking him to stay in it. Yeah. In fact, run, go.
Yeah, you made a statement to me earlier in the week, but I just want to see if you still feel that way, and if you do, if you could elaborate on it a little bit.
Sure.
You said not only does Arch have his own skill set and he brings something unique, but that you believe that he's going to be a better fit for Texas than even Quinn Ewers was.
Oh yeah, absolutely, no doubt. When I was studying and reflect, really getting, looking at this playoff as a broad outlook, and I was studying, dissecting each team, I got to looking over and over, and they did some highlights. I went and did some research on him and the way his foot movement and how he was moving, and the games that he did, we did get a little bit of something to get to see and go off of. I thought, man, he's a better fit, man.
Yeah,
he can take off on you.
I was going to say that alone changes the game because it forces the defense. Now, look, you're a defensive-minded guy. That's your side of the ball. Yep. That when you have to prepare for another element that you really don't want to prepare for, that makes you more susceptible to the common mundane plays too, doesn't it?
Absolutely, bro, because me as the next defensive coordinator and a linebacker, you've got to spy on that quarterback.
Yeah.
So you've got to
get your linebacker out of it, doesn't it?
So, there goes a linebacker, right? Yeah. So there goes the middle, there goes the tight end. You know what I mean? It just creates headaches for defensive coordinators, bro.
Yeah.
And you can do so much out of that, the RPO, and you don't know. Look at the Ravens. I mean, they don't know where it's going. Is it going to Henry, or is he going to pull it back up and take off running? It's hard to defend. And now you're talking about you have all these running backs you can choose from, and these tight ends, and these wheel routes. And man, this Texas offense can be scary.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're definitely
one
picking
player
Texas in this
doesn't
game
make
day.
a defense either, bro. What's his name? The safety over there. They're talking about him being possible Heisman hopeful too on the other side, and he's the best safety probably right now in college football.
You're talking about Texas?
No, Ohio State.
Oh, Ohio State.
What's his? Can you pull it up?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let's pull up him.
But he doesn't. I mean, what I'm saying, all that they lost.
Yeah, but they did keep him, and you're saying he's that much of a difference maker?
I'm saying you can't depend on just him.
Right.
You just one player. Okay, you got him in the back end, but listen, man.
Caleb Downs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, Texas is right there. If we go back, Texas was really the only ones that gave Ohio State. They were right there. One more score, they would have went overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a neck and neck game. And you're saying, okay, so if we take the historical look at this, Ohio State and Texas were neck and neck in that game. It was a close game.
Yeah.
And you're saying from that point, Ohio State has regressed and Texas has progressed. So that should be the difference.
I'm saying that I believe that that's what's going to happen. Okay. And, even on paper, look at it. That's a lot to replace, man.
Yeah.
To come in and play a team that almost got you.
Yeah.
And now they're adding pieces to make them better. I've got to go with Texas, man.
All right. I like it. But here's the one caveat that you did mention earlier.
Yeah.
And that's that this game is in Ohio Stadium.
Sure.
It's in Columbus.
Sure.
How big of a factor is that?
It's huge. It is. It is. But you know what? That's what makes great players great, because here's the deal. If Texas was reloading like Ohio State, what I would say, there'd be concern. But you got a lot of veterans that they're stung. They're going to remember that last game.
Yeah.
And me as next player, I'm going to tell you, I'm bringing everything I've got. Fear, that's out the window. I'm coming to get you. I'm hungry, and I'm going to eat your blood.
And honestly, Crash, that's really the name of the game, isn't it? Who's hungrier? Who's, as you said earlier yesterday, who's in it to win it?
Who's in it to win it, man? And I believe that the sting of losing, all right? That's why Lanning, I told you guys last year, look out for Oregon, man. Lanning, that hurt his pride. That stung him and his team. And I said, look out for Oregon. They're going to come out, and they come out of the gates. Yeah, they went an amazing run. Amen? But it was that sting, and there was no offseason for them. Lanning said, guys, I guarantee you, right when he left, he said, not next year. And he went to home, and he just all that that pain, they turned into success. And I believe, I have a feeling, I have a sense that Texas is going to come. They're going to. In fact, it's not just this game. You'll have to stay tuned. We're going to see the AP poll. We saw it last year. They were so off, right? This is not the only game we're going to see, guys, in a so-called upset. If there is an upset, we're going to see some upsets the first 2 weeks of football.
I like hearing that. That should really stir things up. Now, having said that, if this game goes the way that you think, does that give Arch Manning the inside track to this Heisman Trophy?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of, the implications in this game. It's just not the national championship, Heisman on both sides. But for me, and I don't know the young man, I think this is more about team. He's had to sit back. He's done a really good job of doing that. He's shown that he's a leader. He's developed his character. He's not coming into it to think about Arch Manning, the Heisman Trophy winner. He's coming in to say, listen, this is about team. Now I'm here. I'm going to have a full year. I'm taking over. And that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
And these camps right now, they're amping up and preparing that right now, that attitude, that mentality in it to win it. They're going for a national championship. They came up short last year, and these teams that did, look out.
So give us a prediction and give us a score to close us out.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to say that not only will Texas win, I'm going to say that they could win probably by 13.
Wow. That would be a heck of a flip on the 6-point spread they're giving Ohio State right now.
Yeah, because
that's a 19-point swing.
Because you got to understand something. When these teams get ahead, what happens? The other team's playing catch up, aren't they?
Yeah, that changes the dynamic.
And I don't know this quarterback. I don't trust him from Ohio State. He's a new kid coming in. They're throwing him in there at the last minute. It's July. He's got to learn the system. He's not Will Howard.
Right.
So I can see where Texas gets the lead, right? And they've got almost all their defense back, their defensive backs and everything.
Yeah.
I can see where they start playing catch up. We saw it last year at Penn State. We saw it in different times. These quarterbacks, you ask too much of them, and I can see where, it gets out of hand. Not too much. Let's also remember, this is Ryan Day and ex-defending champions. So I'm not throwing them under the bus, but at the same time, I believe I got Texas by at least 13.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I don't know if I'm going 13 points, but I think they'll definitely cover the spread and probably pull out the win. So if you're going to pull to just winner, I'm going to go with Texas too, because I feel that if Texas can just shut down Ohio State's running game and not hold it to nothing, but just contain it to where they're not breaking your back with huge, gigantic runs. I think you're looking at a one-dimensional quarterback that has not been tested, who's going to be tested in his first game right out the gate. And the pressure of that. It doesn't matter if you're home or not. For him, it's not a home game. For him, it's a first game in front of a crowd of 80,000 plus people who are wanting him to perform what they're used to being performed there. And I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that off. Should be interesting to see.
Total agreement. Yeah.
Any closing thoughts?
Just like stay tuned. Hey, listen, guys, we're trying to get up to 50 before we can go live. You want to stay tuned and come back for also other predictions. Again, like I said last year, I predicted that Travis Hunter to win the Heisman. You want to hear my thoughts on that coming up? And shout out to Coach Prime Deion Sanders. God bless you. Prayers for him. Yep. Amen. And also, we're going to have to cover some NFL. And there's an interesting things going on in the quarterback situation over in Cleveland. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that.
There's a lot going on. How do you feel about us coming in the next couple of days and putting together another episode? Just kind of like an NFL preview to the season, because we're seeing a lot happen even as we're in training camp right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, hey, what about Pittsburgh? What if they were to trade? I'm making some hints here. What if they were to go ahead and get rid of Shador? And I believe they got it wrong. And I'll give you the reasons why I believe they got Shador Sanders wrong. Okay,
I'd love to talk about that.
And somewhere he could end up landing.
Interesting. Well, like Crash said, guys, we need your help. We want to be able to do this live so that we can interact with you as the audience, so that we can talk with you guys and you guys bring up points that we can talk about together. In order to do that, we need you to subscribe. So please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.